Earth, the planet that we live on, home to nearly 10 billion people. But is it home to all of us? Some of us are not from here, and we know it. Maybe not consciously, but on a subconscious level, we know we don't belong here. So where did we come from? Which galaxy did we originate from? Who are our original people? We have to ask ourselves, are we from the Milky Way galaxy or from somewhere else? We are on a constant journey of searching where we belong and why we exist in the first place. But are the explanations from earthly religions going to answer these questions for us? So many people these days have questions of life and existence, but are left empty with only more questions after following some earthly belief structure for years. We also wonder, why are some people born with incredible talents and seemingly have an advantage over others intellectually, and some fall short? Do we reincarnate and learn through our existence, giving us an advantage in our next lifetimes? Or do we live only one lifetime and go to heaven like religion tells us? Some people believe we're in a simulation and our lives are being controlled by powerful beings. Some people believe that a creator deity presides over us and dictates every aspect of our lives. Or do we have control over our own lives completely, and we decide every aspect of our existence? We live on a planet that's shrouded in mystery with ancient structures that were built, but we have no definitive way of explaining how this was accomplished. Did other people from another planet come to Earth in the distant past and help our ancestors build these megalithic structures? Also, do ghosts exist, or are they figments of our wild imaginations? Have the hundreds of sightings of Bigfoot and other cryptids been fabrications of people that were seeking attention? Or have they been here with us all of this time? We also have to ask the question about our genetics and why we are so barbaric and warlike. Were we genetically manipulated by other human beings to be predisposed to barbaric tendencies? Have other humans and people from the great expanse of the cosmos been coming here for millions of years, and people are only denying this fact? I'm going to delve into these things: reincarnation, spirituality, existence, UFO encounters, the paranormal, science, genetics, and the future on livestream, and discuss with you, the listeners, and try to figure out the truth of all these mysteries. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find out together that we are all not from Earth. And over again. Do aliens or other humans from other planets exist? They also ask, are we alone in this universe? Since before prehistory, other humans of all different classifications have been coming to this planet to explore and study. And we have been influenced by these other people from the Great Expanse in many positive ways, but also many negative ways as well. They have had an influence on this civilization's culture and accidentally and purposefully put primitive people in the past in some sort of belief structure. To those that believe they exist and have seen their ships in the sky, it's a fact. But for others who need more concrete proof that other people from other planets are out there, just seeing lights in the sky isn't enough. Those who believe and have seen the proof and have come to the realization that they are here and have been coming here for thousands and thousands of years, ask the questions. What kind of technology do they have? Where are their homeworlds? What do they look like? How is their society structured? Are there different types of otherworldly beings? Or are there just a few different looking people out there? Do they have a soul? We look up in the sky and wonder when we'll be able to explore the universe like these people do. We have to wonder how similar these other people are to us. Some people have the theory that they created us in their image. So let's talk about these questions tonight on livestream and see if we are all not from Earth.
Uh, excuse me. Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a good evening. It is Friday night, a little bit after 12 o'clock in the morning, 12:04. This is episode number 24, the different classifications of aliens, other humans from other planets. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on social media about that. Um, that guy David Grush, is that how you pronounce his name? He was talking about four distinctive races of other human beings, but there's a lot more. There are 18 of them. There are 18 different classifications. So I'm going to talk about that tonight. Very, very fascinating. Um, People didn't realize that there's so many of them, but yeah, there are different types. Um, yeah, so apparently my browser no longer supports my background. So if you're watching this video on Patreon, yeah, it's kind of boring background. I want to kind of make it like a little interesting with the library and all that, but I can't use that now. And that takes up like so much resources. Unbelievable. My computer was running slow. I really got to get a different computer, even though I paid a lot of money for this laptop, though. But it is what it is. But yeah, hopefully you guys have had a good week. Last episode, I was talking about AI and data centers. Yeah, I think that episode went pretty good, talking about Palantir and all that. Um, and yeah, I'm going to go into the news. There is something linked with that, with artificial intelligence and all that. I'm going to put this video up here and then I'll explain what that is.
At Columbia University, and they had a simple but unsettling message. The technology to extract human thought already exists and is on the precipice of becoming widespread. This may sound like science fiction, but I've tested the technology myself. A few months ago, right outside this chamber, I put on normal-looking headphones. They look like those Bose noise-canceling headphones, and used my thoughts to move an animated spaceship across the screen of an iPhone. The potential for this technology to do good is genuine and profound. It can restore movement to paraplegics. It can give a voice to those who have lost the ability to speak. But right now in Massachusetts, there is no legal framework governing how neural data is collected, who owns it, or what happens once it leaves your mind. And without this bill, you will have no resources. Our constituents will have no resources or recourse for the unconsented extraction and sale of your own thoughts. This bill establishes that your neural data belongs to you. It cannot be sold without your consent. It can only be used for the narrow purpose for which it was collected. 3 state legislatures have already acted: Montana, California, and Colorado. A red state, a blue state, and a purple state. Because protecting the privacy of the human mind is not a partisan question, it is a fundamental obligation of our government.
All right, so yeah, he was talking about the technology to read our thoughts. Guys, this is unbelievable. Every single day, I think about that type of technology. Um, it is possible, and obviously they're delving into it. The reason why that it's even known about is because of these crash UFOs. These crash UFOs, some of them operate on telepathic technology. That's the reason why the military industrial complex, like Boeing and Lockheed Martin, they're trying to reverse engineer that. They're trying to do it for negative purposes, though. Um, what the other human beings use it for, they use it to control their ships, to access their holographics, um, to fly around. Some of them have like some sort of like a headpiece that they put on, and it reads their thoughts. So apparently, they are trying to perfect this. The way that it works, when we think, we produce electromagnetic activity, and if you create the technology, it can interpret those electromagnetic impulses and do certain functions. So, yeah, Earth humanity has not perfected it, but they are delving into it, and they are doing it so they can read people's thoughts, so they can invade your own personal thoughts. That's what they want, and that's sick and twisted. guys. You cannot use technology like that to go around and invade someone's like private thoughts. So yeah, it may sound like pretty bizarre, pretty out there, but it is possible. A lot of people have developed this type of technology. The Play R and have that sort of technology. They still operate their ships with like manual controls and holographic, interfaces and all that, holographic screens, but they do possess the telepathic technology. So they can send like telepathic impulses, thoughts, ideas, stuff like that. They do that from Era. They do that from any of the Play Arm planets, and they send it to Earth. That's one of the ways that they do it, or they come here physically themselves and they do this telepathically or with the same technology within close distance, like proximity of Earth. So they do not use that technology for any negative purposes. Um, I don't even, I don't even know what to say because that is just absolutely scary, isn't it? To think about what if they perfected the technology to read our thoughts and our brain waves and all that. I mean, they already have like fMRI technology and certain technology that reads our brain activity, see how much percentage of our brains that we're using. So you know what? That's like the next step up to reading our thoughts. So what I recommend is people practice meditation. Guys, you have to meditate. It may sound like some kind of like hippie, woo woo nonsense, but it's not. What it does is it helps you with your mental fortifications. We can develop powerful mental fortifications and keep people out of our thoughts. Our thoughts are supposed to be our own. They're supposed to be private. Um, some other human beings do read our deep thoughts, and they have technology that does that also. They have devices that fly around. I see these devices all the time. Literally, like every day, I see some sort of devices, whether it's telemeter devices, Syrian Federation devices, other people's devices. I've even seen Andromedan devices. They are like small blue. They leave like a blue streak, and I've seen them. I haven't seen that for a while, but I've seen those devices. So a lot of people they leave their recording devices behind. It records like base thoughts, and our base thoughts are just like simple ideas that we think about. Our deep thoughts, those are private, and I can guarantee that the private corporations, military industrial complex, governments, guys, they want to know what our deep thoughts are. They want to control it for their negative ppurposes, and that is just so unbelievably scary. I don't think that they're going to get anywhere with that technology. I don't, and I know some of you out there, you probably have thought about that before. You're like, how does, my phone, when you get notifications and stuff like that, when it pops up, like a certain restaurant or whatever, like you're hungry, and then boom, something pops up. It's like Uber. If you ever ordered like Uber Eats, all you gotta do is like say the word Uber, and then boom, Uber Eats pops up or like DoorDash or something like that. I don't order food from DoorDash, but I have delivered DoorDash before. Um, and whenever you're like in the proximity of a grocery store like Walmart, the Walmart app will pop up too with some kind of deals, or Amazon does it too. Amazon's really freaky um, when you're thinking about some sort of thing that you need to buy, and then all of a sudden it just pops up. That makes you wonder, huh? I've got to do like a whole episode on that. I got to look more into that and see how successful that they have been um, with that certain level of technology. I think that it's just on the very very primitive level where they can read some electromagnetic activity, but what they do they've got pretty much like nailed down with your preferences and your internet searches. That's what it is. They've created a profile, a personal profile of you, and that's when it pops up. And they know your schedule, they know your eating schedule, and this artificial intelligence compiles all that together, and then it like sends anticipated, like alerts. Like it's just mostly anticipated, but it is kind of eerie though, isn't it? Kind of makes you wonder. But yeah, what he was talking about, yeah, I think it's on a very, very primitive level. I'm not sure what he looked at, but Elon Musk is working on Neuralink, and there are people that are volunteering for that. I would not volunteer for that. Some primitive chip to be put in my head. No thanks. Yeah, I saw a guy. He was all excited about it. He got like the surgical implant, and he was all happy about being one of the first people to do that. Don't volunteer for something like that. That's just like sick and grotesque. That's just especially in the hands of somebody like him, Elon Musk. He has nothing but negative intentions. The guy's racist. He's a child molester. He's a rapist. Um, he's just like a horrible, horrible person. And apparently, I'm gonna put this up here. He's had a little celebration today. For those of you that keep up with the stock market and SpaceX and all that, doesn't have any. I gotta put that up. Let me see. I'm gonna replay this. So this guy is an absolute idiot. And if you're, listening on Apple Podcasts, you'll have to refer to a Patreon video. Unfortunately, this episode, the majority of it, you'll have to watch it. I'm going to do the best I can to try to explain all this stuff, but you'll have to actually see it for yourself, though. But yeah, he's celebrating. He's the world's first trillionaire. Wow, he is so excited about that, isn't he? Unbelievable. Like that's such an accomplishment. You gotta be kidding me. What? Acquiring some money? That's easy. Um all you gotta do is compromise yourself on this world. It's very, very simple to, accumulate a lot of money, do disgusting things, be a submissive little coward, do what everybody else wants you to, and develop some, piece of junk crap technology, put it out. He is literally gonna fall off his high horse. I'm telling you guys, this whole SpaceX IPO thing, it's just a bunch of nonsense. That's what it is. So there are a lot of people. There are millions and millions of people that were the other day. They were dumping stocks. They're liquidating money so they can, buy SpaceX IPO initial price offering just because they think they're going to become like millionaires and billionaires. Well, I mean, I'm sure they're going to make a little bit of profit, but guess what? Just like Tesla, his stock price is going to go back down. He's not going to be able to achieve what he wants to achieve. He is not going to be the first person to put us on Mars because guess what? They've already been to Mars. Like I said in the previous episode, the Tic Tac UFO, the reverse engineered otherworldly technology, it already can go to Mars. So they've already been to Mars, and so he's thinking about flying rockets over there. Guys, you cannot use fossil fuels to fly all the way over to Mars. That is a long distance. That's even further than the moon. And you see how long it takes for people to get to the moon. So, and how much fuel that costs. You need to have advanced technology to get over there. And that's what he keeps on talking about. I'm going to be the first person on Mars, And you know what? It's not going to happen. If he keeps up with his drug habits, with his ketamine addiction, that man is going to overdose. And guess what happens with all of his companies and his stocks? Plummets. Absolutely plummets without him around. That little bubble that he's created, it's going to pop and everything's going to fall out the bottom. Um, People are going to lose their jobs. Someone else is going to probably take over. and they're going to do an even worse job than he's done. I've been looking into this a little bit. Um, Someone that's like an expert stockbroker, they were talking about, they heard rumors that he's doing a pump and dump. So he's pumping up his stock. His stock price is started like at $134 per share, I think, and he's planning to rip the rug out from underneath it sometime soon. So he's making all this money. He's making hundreds of billions of dollars on this, and he's using this opportunity to create him a little nest egg. Guys, he does not have over $1 trillion liquid. I can promise you that. He, like I said before, I think he's probably got maybe like 250 million 50 billion, I'm sorry, not 50 million, 250 billion liquid that he can actually take, probably a whole lot less than that. The way that it works, these people, they tie up all this money into property, into their companies, um, into different materials, creating whatever items that they create. So the majority of his stock is within the Tesla cars and the rocket ships and all that fuel, and paying the employees, which he doesn't pay his employees hardly anything. They're barely making a living. Some of them, the ones that are sitting in the executive office, yeah, they're making decent money, but just a regular day to day person, people who put these cars together and stuff like that. The warehouse managers, they don't make hardly anything. Even though he's worth hundreds of billions of dollars, he doesn't have all that liquid, to support himself, and he's gonna fail. I'm telling you right now. Within probably by the end of the year, you're gonna see evidence of him falling off, and I'll be right about it because he is so overly excited about being a trillionaire. Who cares, honestly? I mean, obviously some people in the stock market care, and they hold that man up like he's infallible. No, he's not. Um, he's a sick, depraved, drug addicted moron. He's not a scientist. He's not intelligent as people think he is. He's just really, really good at compromising himself, making right connections, and he's got all these sexual proclivities and you know vices and all that kind of stuff. He's just like literally like standing over the edge. He's got 1 foot over the edge of a cliff. All he needs to do is lean forward and he'll fall right off that cliff. I'm telling you, these people are just so easily compromised, and they will fall. I'm telling you. You may think that they're giants, but the bigger you are, the harder you fall. That's that is a very, very true saying, and that is likely to happen. So, all right. Let's see. I got some other like interesting news in here. There was this one clip on Reddit, and I don't even have TikTok, so I don't know, but there's this guy, he apparently had an encounter with UFOs. It was pretty crazy, and I believe it's real though. So I'm gonna put that video up here and then discuss that after.
Make another video explaining what's going on in this one. My voice is over the original audio of my girlfriend panicking. Anyway, you see the bright white light to the left, straight ahead to the left? Now that thing was following us for a minute now this is at like 3:30 in the morning from in the middle of nowhere between Colorado and New Mexico. Now the car starts being lifted up off the street. She can't control the swerving. She can't control it from being lifted up, and this thing just kept fucking with us. And pretty much another UFO that comes after we take this left turn. I'll point out when it gets shot, and you can even pay attention to the top left-hand corner after I show you when it gets shot. You'll see these lasers fly through the air from another UFO. Now watch, okay? Keep an eye on the bright white light to the left. And I'll show you. Bright white light, okay? To the left. Keep an eye on that light. Now, we take this turn, and I'll show you the exact moment when it gets shot by the other UFO. It gets shot right here. Boom. See that smoke? Now, pay attention to the top left-hand corner. Boom. See those lights? Boom. Another one. That UFO is shooting the other UFO, trying to stop it from fucking with us. It's so crazy. And eventually, the original UFO that was fucking with us, which is the one to the right, starts speeding, gaining altitude at a super fast rate where I can't even keep up with it, and that happens right about here. Boom, takes off. It's flying through the sky, higher and higher and higher. I feel like I really had to explain what was going on because I don't think anybody understands the severity of the situation and us being saved from one UFO by another. Anyway, thanks for checking this out.
All right, yeah. So, yeah, the audio is not good at all with that. I thought it was a whole lot louder than that. Plus, he's like so nervous too. So apparently, him and his wife were driving down the road, and one UFO was trying to lift up the car, and another one came and shot that UFO, and it like crashed from where it left, and it kind of like followed him for a little bit. So that's bizarre. Um, to hear how frantic he was, and like to see the see the car actually lift up, that's really bizarre. But I've heard about stories like that. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. It could be somebody from the Federation of Light. It could be maybe someone from Sirius B trying to abduct them, because they do that kind of stuff all the time, or from one of those peoples that live in Antarctica. So there are three peoples that live in Antarctica. They're not from here. They're not originally from Earth, and they do all towards types of negative stuff, abductions. They cut people open. It's grotesque, and it's possible that the Federation of Light stopped them from doing that. I can't say for sure, but it's bizarre. It's interesting. Very, very interesting video. I'd have to say that it all adds up. He's telling the truth, and he's really nervous about the whole thing. I guess you would be nervous if a otherworldly ship was trying to pick up your car in a tractor beam. So who knows what they're trying to do, but kind of fascinating. So there was also, and I saw this video a long, long time ago, and maybe some of you guys have seen it. Let's see. Restart that.
¿Quién era? Vamos a ver. Ven. No te muevas. Uy. Corre.
Yeah, that is definitely interesting right there. That's a very old video. It's in from Mexico, and they saw like a little gnome with like a hat, like a pointy hat. They do exist. They're not like magical creatures. They're just human beings from other planets. Um, some of them visit. Some of them stay here permanently. There's different small races out there. There are a lot of them. If you've ever seen those green streaks of light that kind of like either come up from the ground and go into space. Most of the time, the only ones I've seen is from coming from space, from orbit. A green streak is not it's not an asteroid where people think that's not an asteroid because they zigzag too. Um, I've seen them make like right angle turns, zigzag, uh, and I've seen a couple times where they've come up like from the horizon and shoot up into space, and they have like this green trail. Those are ships. That's not asteroids. Asteroids don't. Sometimes they do burn a little bit of green color whenever they enter orbit, but it's mostly like like kind of reddish orange. It's not green. That's misinterpretation. I really wish that people would just learn the facts before they start blurting some nonsense out. Oh, it's just an asteroid and all that. No, it isn't, because there was another video. I forget where the volcano was, but there was a green streak there too. It went down, and then a green ship was like floating up and kind of like it wasn't necessarily zigzagging, but it was moving in a different direction, and then it disappeared into space. Those are the same people. They're small. I think they are reptiloids. That's the classification that they're in, which I'm going to talk about the different classifications tonight. Um, I believe they are, and they have some, uh, like biological study. They do a lot of biological studies here, and they do abductions too. They usually is the only ones that I've heard about the abduction stories. They are of women. I don't know why. I don't know why they're studying just women, but the women have described them not taking their memories away, and apparently they've done thousands and thousands of abductions. I don't know where they come from because they've never told their witnesses. They just like you know pretty much petrify them, level like a board, and then like levitate them off their bed, bring them up to their ships, and do experimentations, take eggs, different stuff like that, skin samples, blood samples. So they're not the most positive people. Anyone who does that, guys, anyone who comes to another planet and takes somebody against their will, I don't agree with whatsoever, and I don't like it. But apparently, they're not going to stop. So yeah, it's quite possible that that gnome that they saw is from one of those peoples because very similar. I have another one here. Now I know this one is this smaller gnome creature. This is one of the ones that lives on Earth permanently. So I'll put that up. So I'm just gonna explain it for those of you who are on Apple Podcasts because it'll be like it's kind of a couple minute long video. Um, it'd be like a couple minutes of silence, but what we're seeing right now is a very very small human, woman in a dress. She has like the sort of pink dress at the bottom and like sort of like a reddish top on. Now she is, I would have to guess she's like a couple inches above the baseboard, so that would like make her, like 7 inches tall. Very very small. I mean, depending on how big that baseboard is, I don't think that many baseboards are bigger than 6 or 7 inches. So let's just say like 8 to 10 inches tall. That's how big she is. Um, and she is phasing in and out. So what the person that shot this video is, they have a roommate, and they thought their roommate was coming in their room and was stealing like their clothes and food and stuff like that. I guess they had food laying around. I could see like a can of soda on the table there, and they were just like stealing their stuff. So they put a video camera in to kind of like hidden camera in to kind of catch whoever was doing this, the roommate or somebody that the roommate knew, and obviously they caught this small little human on tape. This is real. This is most definitely real. Um, I've heard some people try to debunk it. Guys, this is legitimate. These smaller human beings do exist, and also I've had a couple encounters with them. Now I've never actually like seen them, but they have taken stuff from me, and some people call them like gremlins. Some people call them gnomes. They got that cartoon or whatever, like the Smurfs. So they have different skin tones, and they take stuff because they live nearby. They do have some technology. I think they have transport technology. They are living within the cavernous systems all around the world. You got a bunch that lives in America, pretty close to where I live, actually. They live in the Cherokee Mountains and the Appalachians and stuff like that. Also, the middle of America, Arkansas, Missouri. There's even been cases of small humans that have been found there. And, of course, like Ireland. So that's where the legends of, like leprechauns and stuff like that, and some sort of like fairy creatures and yeah, that's the thing. They don't have any like magical ability. They have telepathy. They have telekinetic ability. They do have consciousness abilities, but they've been here for so long they can't leave anymore. They don't have ships to leave the system. If they do have any technology, it's very limited. Invisibility technology, which of course that one did have it, and that's just fascinating, though. They have some other things. They have like societies. They have thousands, millions, and millions of them living underground. They used to interact with Earth humans, but guess what? You've heard those stories of forcing like elves to work in the shops and stuff like that to create shoes and to create clocks and all that. Guys, those stories they stem from reality. People were doing that. They were forcing them um, into like forced labor, and they were taking advantage of them. Even the other ones in Ireland, they're a little bit larger. They're a whole lot larger than that actually, and surface human beings. They were taking sexual advantage of them, and they procreated. And guess what? That's where dwarfism comes from. Dwarfism is not naturally from Earth. It's because the men took sexual advantage of the women, and they gave birth to dwarf smaller stature humans, and it gets passed on from generation to generation. It skips some generations. Definitely, if both your parents do have the genetics for dwarfism, it's highly likely that you are going to be born a dwarf, and that's where it comes from. It may sound kind of out there, but that's what it was from, because you have to think about it. In prehistory, has there been any mentions of people with small stature? It hasn't. If you look back in Egyptian times, nothing. If you look in the Sumerian text, nothing. Um, and anything else on the planet, Native American history, no, it's not there. It just stems from the last several hundred years. That's where it is. If I were to take a guess, um, I would say probably like the year 900. That's when it started to become prevalent. And because they came here around that time, they came here around the year 700. Some of them left, some of them stayed. Some of their civilizations were destroyed by ignorance and war and other peoples. And they just happened to stay on Earth. And the ones that are on Earth, they are their descendants, and they have passed on the smaller stature uh, genetics because they are in the human classification. But they're small guys. People come in all shapes and sizes and skin tones. Um, you can't think that we are the only ones that are called human. That's not the truth, though. That is not how things work. We are not the only humans that are out there. So yeah, fascinating topic. How many classifications are there? All right. There are 18 altogether. As far as everybody knows, there are definitive 18 classifications. So there are the first is humanoids. Then you have amphiboids, which are amphibian humans. Then you got reptiloids, insectoids, sauroids, primatoids, condycoids, uh, pteropoids, hydroids, thermoids, frigoroids, which I was a frigoroid in my previous lifetime. I can guarantee you that I was because I had a past life dream, being without my shirt on in sub freezing temperatures, and I was fine. I was even taking, a bath in like a natural spring, and there was a bunch of snow and ice around me, and I had my ship there. So that was my previous lifetime. I had either I had like frigoroid genes, like I had my people had done some kind of genetic modification to, sustain in cold weathers, or I was actually a frigoroid. So I guess I have experience with that. I think that I have experience with a lot of these classifications actually, because I've been drifting around from civilization to civilization for millions and millions of years. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I like that actually. I actually enjoy having that experience. That's pretty cool though. But you also have aeroids, uh, acroids, fluoroids. No, not people from Florida, fluoroids. And you got centauroids, faunoids, cheruboids, sterophoids, and then that's it. That's 18 classifications. So I'm going to show the pictures of all these classifications and explain a little bit, about have they been here or have they not? So you gotta think about this. In all this mythology, I just talked about like gnomes and elves and all that, and leprechauns. It has to derive from somewhere. Yeah, people have like pretty vivid imaginations, but at the same time, it's pretty accurate. They've had actual encounters with other human beings from other planets. They have been to Earth, so that's pretty much like I would say all 18 of the classifications have been to Earth, guys, because we are not the only ones out there. This galaxy alone has over 43 million human civilizations of all the different classifications. And you got the Andromeda Galaxy, you got the Coma Galaxy, you got billions of other galaxies out there that have other peoples out there. I really hate this. Like when people say, oh, it's not possible to traverse uh, hundreds of light years, thousands of light years, go from galaxy to galaxy. Yes, it is. It's very easy actually. Once you achieve the power of electron, I'm not talking about splitting the atom and nuclear power. That is not effective. That you cannot do it that way. You can't. You would literally be traveling for hundreds and hundreds of years. You would probably have to put yourself in like some sort of like stasis chamber, and everyone on the ship would have to do that. And I think we've all seen those movies like Avatar, where they go in the chamber for like 6 years because it takes 6 years to get from Earth to Pandora. Yeah, it's not going to be like that in the future. We're not going to do stuff like that. We're going to develop ships that can go many times the speed of light. So yeah, that's that whole nonsensical theory that what it's impossible to do it. Then how are these other people coming here? You've got other people coming from other universes. Actually, you've got other people coming from the Ankar universe, from this universe, from another universe called the Dow universe, and they can travel to another universe called the Rattern universe. So that's four universes. They haven't explored all of it. They don't even know like if there's like another 50% of the universe that they haven't explored, or another three quarters or a quarter. They're not sure, but they're out there exploring, and they're going further and further all the time. So universes are incredibly vast. Honestly, I want to be like the first person to explore like every inch of every universe. That's my goal in the future. Man, that just sounds exciting. That's something to look forward to. I think some of us that think about this stuff, we like daydream about that. Going out there and seeing other planets and meeting other peoples and stuff like that. So, all right, so I'm gonna start with the first one here. Human. I'm gonna show four of them, four humans that actually exist. This is exactly what they look like. So you have this man right here, and yeah, he's an old man. I have to describe it for you on Apple Podcast, or I do have a Spotify. I'll plug that at the end or whatever. Apparently, my episodes are continually getting uploaded to Spotify. So yeah, so this man, his name is Patah. He's over 800 years old. I think he's like about 810 years old. He's Playar, and he's from a planet called Ira, and he's the man in charge. He just looks like a regular old man, somebody's grandfather. He's got blue eyes and whitish gray hair, beard, and he's just a regular human. He's about like 6'2", and he has two daughters, and he is the leader of the Earth mission, guys. So, any of you that watch this Patreon video, you're gonna know what he looks like, even though he doesn't show himself. This is the man that's making all the decisions when it comes to Earth humanity. He's in charge. What he's in charge of is our spiritual evolution, and he's also in charge of not letting us blow ourselves up. So, if it wasn't for this man and all the people that were helping out with the Earth mission, guys, we'd already be destroyed. And also, not only that, by ignorance, World War III would have happened decades ago if it wasn't for him, and if it wasn't for his daughters and his niece and his nephew Quetzal. So yeah, all these people, we've got them to thank. I just have like a disagreement on how they're doing the Earth mission, but that's my own personal grievance with him. I would have done it differently. I guess everyone has their own ways of doing it, but I am grateful that he's, actually done something. You know, Something's better than nothing, I guess. But they have their rules, they have their laws. He's part of the Play Arm Peoples, and there are like over 5 billion of them. Um, and they go around, they educate people on the creational teaching. Their kind of motto is that the Federation of Light, tries to preserve life in multiple universes. That's pretty much what they try to do. They have a non-interference policy. They can only do certain things. They can't take away all the weapons, even though they thought about doing it. I don't know if they've added any more rules or laws or directives, but they do have, these policies where they cannot interact with any Earth humans aside from a few people. And the only one that is in actual contact with this man right here is Edward Albert Meyer, Billy Meyer. That's his close friend. Been his friend for decades, for more than 50 years now. 51 years actually. I think it's honestly like in a couple weeks. I think it's gonna be the 51st anniversary since they met. I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna put another one up here. His niece, ask it. That's what she looks like. Beautiful, kind of like dirty blonde, blue-eyed woman. She is not Playarn. She is from the Dow universe. She's from a planet called Timur, and that's his niece. She is, I believe, man, I can't. There's so many like conflicting information about her age. I think she's like 600 years old, and she has a 2,000-year lifespan. So Ptah has a 1,000-year lifespan. Most of the Pleiadians have a 1,000-year lifespan, but she has a 2,000-year lifespan. So she's not even like near middle age. So she kind of looks like a 29-year-old woman. and she's not that tall. She's like 5'8", and everything is the same pretty much, as Earth humans, because guess what? Earth humanity has their genetics. They came here a long time ago, and they put their genetics on Earth. We wouldn't look. They don't look like us. We look like them, and they do have different skin tones. So it's not just like light skin tone people. They have dark skin tones. They have tan skin tones, stuff like that, on Timor and in the Play Arm peoples. So I'm gonna put another one up here of the human classification. This is Semyaze. Semyaze was Billy's, third contact, and she spent a lot of time on Earth. She spent a lot of time like researching the whole Earth mission. But honestly, these people, guys, they don't really like get us. They don't understand us. They don't understand the humor, our humor. They do have their own sense of humor, but they don't understand ours. And they don't really understand like the way we think. But that's fine. She's done a lot. She is not on the Earth mission anymore, because she had an accident, and very, very unfortunate accident. And she's recovering on in the Dow universe on Ask's planet, Timor, because they have more advanced medical technology, and she has to do things consciousness related, stay in like sort of a meditative state. It's very unfortunate. It's very sad that that accident happened. It wasn't her fault. And it wasn't Jacobus's fault either. Jacobus snuck in when Billy and her were having a contact, and the transport technology malfunctioned, and she hit her head, unfortunately. But she's still alive, and she's got a couple more decades to recover, and then she can come back home. She has 1,000-year lifespan, also. So. All right, so I'm gonna put another one up. This man right here, I got grievances with this man right here. He's got blue eyes, brown hair, scruffy beard. His name is Quetzal. He's like 6'3", like almost 6'4". So yeah, guys, the play on they are tall, but they're not like giants anymore. They used to be. So he is also on the Earth mission. This is Patah's nephew. I don't know if like what side of the family he is related. I know it's his nephew. And Patah's father, Svath, was his grandfather. So that's pretty much what I know about it. They don't really mention too much of that, but I mean, he could literally, if Quetzal put on, t-shirt, some jeans, some shoes or whatever, he could literally walk around on Earth. The only difference is they glow, guys. This is what people misidentified in the past, and they thought these people were angels. They're not angels at all. There's no such thing as angels at all. They just have a glow about them because they're not genetically altered like we are, manipulated in a negative way, and plus their consciousness. They're in tune with their consciousness. They have powerful consciousness abilities. Quetzal is a king of wisdom. That's the second highest spiritual level that there is. The next level that he'll go up to is the high council level, but that's going to be a while though. It takes quite a while to get up to that level. I'm sure that he'll probably be very close, um, maybe in his next lifetime or whatever. But he is also helping out, and yeah, they don't interact, guys. They don't interact with people. They have in the past. They've spoken with members of the Figu organization telepathically. I know Semyazi was doing it. Um, and they cannot interact because it puts people in a hypnagogic state. So the thing is, they're so spiritually evolved. Most Earth humans are very like primitive thinking. They're stuck in some sort of religious delusional belief structure, and by doing that, you have a submissive mentality, and you relinquish your individuality. So you cannot comprehend their thoughts and their their train of thought, and you can't handle being in the presence of someone that's glowing and spiritually evolved. The first thing a religious person is going to assume, oh, this beautiful blonde woman is an angel, or this, handsome, rugged looking man Quetzal is an angel or whatever, a messenger of God, but they're not. I promise you, they're not. They're just people, guys, and I see them just like they are. They're just people. Like if I were to, be face to face with them, it wouldn't have any sort of effect on me. But that's me because I've snapped out of, that religious way of thinking. But Earth humans, they just can't handle it, and they spiral, and they can't process this on a consciousness level. So the best thing to do is just see them for what they are. They're people. That's all they are. They're positive people, and they have the best intentions, and they are helping out. So I am grateful for that. But Quetzal and Ptah are freaking idiots because they should have taken the negative individuals off of Earth. And look what's happening now. We are literally on the brink of World War III, and they're just going to sit back and do nothing. But I want to make a bet with Quetzal and Ptah. I can bet you that they're going to have to do something before all this is over. They're going to have to step in. Maybe they're already planning on doing it because things are just getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm not asking them to do all the work. See, that's the thing. They want us to do things by our own determination, and they have this non-interference policy. They can't like interact with us. But I think that this day and age where UFO disclosure and all that's coming out, I think more people are minded to it, and I really don't think that too many people are going to overreact just to see those ships in the sky and then like to make some sort of broadcast with holographics. So yeah. Oh, that reminds me, I wanted to show another broadcast. I guess I'll do it at the end then. Vrillon. That's interesting. Actually, Vrillon was play Arn too. So, all right, I'm gonna put another one up. This one right here, guys, is one of the versions of a Frigoroid. So you can see like the picture they're looking at. AI generated it. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything close to it on the internet. And I hate to use AI, but yeah, it's kind of really really tall, physically fit human with blue skin tone, and there's a technically advanced city in the background, some different planets in the sky, and there's a whole lot of snow and ice everywhere. So they're capable of surviving well below freezing temperatures. I'm gonna put another one up. There's another version. This is a little bit close to what I kind of was in my previous incarnation, but I didn't have blue skin tone. I had like a sort of the same skin tone that I do now, and my hair wasn't like that though. But that's just how the AI generated it. But that looks familiar. That whole like technologically advanced city back there, it looks familiar. If I were to say like for you guys to judge what this Frigoroid person looks like, kind of looks like a shorter, more physically fit, one of those avatars. So he's got his hair in his braids. I don't know why the AI put hair in his braids, but that's kind of what they look like, though. That's another classification. All right, here's another popular one. This is an insectoid. This is what some of them look like. They do look different. There are different types, but I wanted to put this one up because there are insectoids that have very, very human features, body types, facial features. So what we're looking at now is I generated like an egg-shaped ship, which people have reported seeing egg-shaped ships, white ones and different colors and stuff like that. And I have a insectoid one with very, very like beautiful features, and you got waterfalls in the background, and she's got the antennae, but she does have like human features though. So yeah, very beautiful actually. And then another one, put this up. This is a primatoid. Yes, there are such things as primate humans, and no technically, Bigfoot is not. Just to, some people are gonna have that question: Is Bigfoot an alien? No, 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 it's not. Bigfoot is not. That was created on thousands of years ago by the celestial sons. They were the ones that spliced like together human and ape, like gigantic Pithecus DNA and stuff like that, and that's what created all the Bigfoot creatures that are around. There used to be hundreds of them, but now there's only like 9 of them. So I did a whole episode on Bigfoot, but yeah, Bigfoot is not an alien or another human being. But what this primatoid looks like is, if you've ever watched that movie Planet of the Apes, you would have to picture one of those Planet of the Apes creatures in some sort of like spacesuit with a spaceship. And they're very tall, though. Also, there's versions that look like Chewbacca from Star Wars. So yeah, he based that off of reality. There's actually a classification of humans that look like Chewbacca and this ape creature, like one of the Planet of the Apes with some sort of highly advanced spacesuit on another planet, guys. And they have language, and they're highly intelligent. And very few of them, they're negative. Primatoids are not that negative. The most negative out all the classifications, guess what? The human classification. We are by far the most negative because we fall victim to vanity. As you saw, like Asket and Simyaz, they're very, very beautiful women. I'm not saying they're vain, but I'm just saying like we fall victim to vanity. Definitely, Earth humanity is incredibly vain. Has not matured whatsoever. I don't focus on vanity at all. I'm a very humble person, but apparently this is like everyone's central focus. That's all anyone cares about is like what you look like and what shape you're in. They don't care anything about your personality. You got to understand these people from other planets. Uh, they know that there's diverse life out there, and they respect people for who they are, not for what they look like. So, also, I'm gonna put another one up. This is a condocoid. This is pretty much exactly what they look like. There's different versions of them. There's different heights. Um, So to describe this condocoid is, has a human shape, a little bit larger head, and it's sort of like almost translucent. And what they do is they levitate around. That's what they do. They either, use technology or they use their consciousness abilities and they levitate anywhere they need to go, around their city, around their planets. That's usually what they do. And they're very, very meditative. I would say out of all the classifications, condocoids would be the least negative. Very, very technically advanced peoples that are out there. I have a feeling that I've encountered condocoids in past lifetimes. It's just normal, they do look different. They're glowing too. All these people are glowing too, by the way, just to let everyone know. That's because they are spiritually evolved. So, and they can travel to other galaxies throughout the universe. So, please, please don't say that it's impossible to traverse, space, guys. Everybody does it eventually. Everybody figures out a way to travel to other galaxies and throughout the universe. At minimum, just the universe. So here's 2 more actually. So this one's a seraphoid, the bird type of human. So the seraphoids, they have very, very pronounced bird-like features. They have very, very large wings. They have the beak, the bird-like face with the eyes, human eyes though, and they have the bird-like feet with the claws, and the hands are the claws, and they can fly around anywhere they want aside from space. They can't go into empty space, but um, very advanced peoples, very, very positive, meditative. And then the one next to it is excuse me, is cheruboids. So it looks like a fairy. That's exactly what cheruboids look like. They're different versions of them. Um, yeah, so you're gonna have if you listen to Apple Podcasts, you're really gonna have to watch this Patreon video to get a good grasp of what they look like. I try to do as accurate as possible. It's just a small little human being um, with wings. There's different skin tones, but this one is kind of translucent, glowing blue, and floating over there with the Seraphord. So usually the winged humanoids, they tend to gather together. You would think. Um, they interact with each other. They trade different materials, metals. They have like similar diets. So guess what? On Earth they came because there's depictions of Seraphoids in Egypt and in Sumeria also, and also like Central America and South America. There are depictions of Seraphoids and fairies. That's what fairies are. Fairies are cheruboids. They were glowing. They were glowing bright, and they had technology. It wasn't like magical fairy dust. It was technology. That's what it was. Misidentified. That's plain and simple as I can, put it. So they were misidentified for being magical creatures. So, and all these pictures, I am going to probably tomorrow sometime. I'm going to put them up on my website. Yeah, I really want to do that. You know what? I'm gonna put them up on Reddit too. I've got all these saved. I gotta take them off from the studio right now because I can only put 10 pictures at a time. I still have like 8 more. No, I have more than that because I did 4 humans. Yeah, so you never know. Maybe Quetzal is here on Earth and he's listening to this right now because I did see 2 ships out there. I don't know what they were doing, but yeah, guys, that these all these people they've been real. People have been seeing them. You got to understand that our ancestors, Earth humanity's ancestors, guys, they weren't like they weren't idiots, but it's very very possible that they completely misidentified these creatures. They attached some sort of like magical you know principle to it, and that's not what they were. They were just people. So whenever we venture out there, and I'm putting up the other pictures now, the other classifications. So yeah, whenever we get up out there in space, I guess that's going to be like the literal proof. But I've got a theory. A lot of other people were, kind of have this theory also that we are being prepped for contact by someone. I don't think that's the Federation of Light, but it could be the other peoples that are helping out because there's so much going on Earth. There's so much suffering, and they really want to do something about it. And a lot of people were seeing the ships, and there was that. I don't know if you guys have heard. There was like this Brazilian farmer. He was contacted telepathically by a ship, by other human beings, and he had a nervous breakdown. He's even had like suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. I don't. You see, that's the proof right there that pretty much Earth humans, the majority of them, it has to do with your spiritual age. If you're spiritually young and you've never been off of Earth, well, yeah, you're gonna have a more difficult time with the whole thing. But if you're not from Earth originally, then you probably encountered at least a couple of these different classifications, and it doesn't bother you. You just it's actually normal to you. So. Almost done putting up all of them. There's a lot of classifications, guys. They're not just 4. And you got David Grush talking about like plasmoid people and all. Nobody is plasmoids. There is no classification that's called plasmoids. There are peoples in the high council level. So the ones that he's talking about, if you looked on those pictures where they're translucent and blue, it's highly likely that those are representations of people that are in the high council level, or is what I call it, the higher vibrational counseling crown level. That's what I call it, but most people call it the high council level. So I'm gonna put another one up. This one is This one's an acaroid. So if you were watching the video, this one looks familiar, doesn't it? Because this acaroid was in how you pronounce it, Varhina. It was a Varhina alien um, situation. These ones they live on Earth. They live off the coast of Brazil. That's where they live. They came here hundreds of years ago, and they stay here. Even a couple decades ago, also cops had an interaction with them, and they touched their skin. And guess what? They got very sick on it. They got like something sort of like radiation sickness. So that's what they are. Their skin is coated with chemicals that are toxic to other classifications. And I mean, they didn't do it on purpose. That's not their fault. It was That's just the way that it is. That's how their physiology is. They can only interact with people like themselves, and they have their own like suits and stuff like that. But if you try to touch one of them and you're not physiologically prevented from getting sick, well, guess what? You're gonna get sick. So I think I got like one more to put up. I don't know if it's gonna let me do it. I can only put the 10 up at a time. Let me see. Yeah, I can't put that one up. I'm gonna have to. All right, so here's the next one. This one is aeroid. I'm gonna describe this one. So aeroids come in all different shapes and sizes, just like all the other classifications. This one, the picture they put up is a translucent kind of blue one, and is breathing in, some sort of aerosol. That's how they live. They cannot breathe, the same oxygen mixture that we do with oxygen and nitrogen. They have to breathe in aerosols. Their planet produces that naturally, and they on their ships it produces the same uh, chemical construction of it. So, and if they're gonna get off their ship and go to like explore like Earth or whatever, they have to wear a suit that creates this aerosol. That's why they're called aeroids. So they can survive for a few minutes. Some of them for even longer, but they have to stay within their suits if they're on Earth. So they've come to Earth too. um, there's not too many mentions of them in, mythology, but yeah, they do exist. That's another classification. All right, then you got amphiboids. Well, this one doesn't have a suit on. It doesn't have like a space suit, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It's an amphibian human, and has the frog-like head, muscular body, tall, and a tail. So green, they come in all different colors, all different skin tones: green, yellow, blue skin tone, red skin tone, orange. Um, Very, very diverse, very, very intelligent, very positive people. If you would ever run into an amphiboid, most Earth humans would freak the heck out. But guys, they are positive for the majority of them. Like I said, the most negative of the classifications is most definitely the human classification. All right, then the next one. This was a centauroid. So centaurs did exist because I've seen one before. I have literally seen uh, a centaur, but my boss says that I'm crazy. He says that you ain't seen no centaur. Yeah, yeah, I have, because he's redneck. So he calls me a liar. He says I haven't seen one, but I have. I did. I saw it in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And it got kind of like nervous because it didn't expect me to be there, and disappeared. So that's what it looks like a regular centaur, but kind of similar to what the Harry Potter centaurs look like. It's not like completely exactly our human, half earth human, half horse. It's They have different features on them. They have hair, they have different color hairs, they have different color eyes. They're just people, that's it. Another one, this one, there are legends of this one too. This is a faunoid. Faunoids do exist, and they have ships, they have technology, and no, they are not devils or demons. But I imagine some of them that came to Earth, they had not so great intentions, and they were portrayed as like devilish creatures. So they, if you would imagine, the first like half of the body is purely human. The facial features are that of sort of like a goat, and they do have horns, and they have patches of hair, and the half part of the body is like sort of like fawn legs or like deer legs with like hooves. So that's what they are. They're humans that look exactly like that. So a lot of people, if they would encounter a faunoid, they would probably wrongly assume that it's some sort of like demon or whatever, but that's not what it is. No, it's just another human being from another planet. I don't know if there any living on Earth. That's a very interesting idea. I don't think that there are. I have not heard of any sort of sightings of faunoids other than in the past. Like, so maybe they don't come here anymore. I'm sure that there's like a civilization that's in the Federation of Light that's faunoids, but I'm not sure whether or not they come here. And I've never seen one myself, but I've seen a centauroid though. All right, so I'm gonna add the next one is fluoroid. This is pretty much what a fluoroid looks like. Fluoroid human. This is a woman. Her hair is flowers, and they also have flowers growing out of other parts of their body and stuff like that. They have very flowery attributes, green skin, sort of like brownish skin tone, and that's what they look like. Very, very beautiful fluorids. And here's another one too. That's what a fluoride looks like. This one is different. This one's much different. It's kind of like realistic. Um, it has green and brown skin tones with like sort of roots growing on its body, and leaves and flowers for its hair, and kind of big glowing eyes. So that I would say that picture is far more accurate than the other one. But there's different variations of fluoroids. They come in all different shapes and sizes, so they exist. Yeah, like tree people, almost like flowery tree people. Then you have another one. These are hydroids. So guess what, everyone? Earth has hydroids. There are hydroids that are living on Earth, and they have been for hundreds of years. They live inside the oceans. So whenever I go on a long tangent, complain about all the garbage being dumped into the oceans. Well, guess what? It's because you have human beings that are living in there. And you also have sea creatures, and you have to respect your planet, guys. We live on a planet with hydroids. They've been here for hundreds and hundreds of years. And even the Japanese have stories of I think they're called like the Ugami, the like 20-foot long humans that are in the ocean. I'm not talking about mermaids. Though mermaids were like a monstrosity. There is no mermaid kind of classification, but to describe this hydroid, it's just like a human being, a human shape, but it also could have web hands, web feet, big ears, big eyes, but sort of human looking features and bioluminescent features also. So fluorids are very, very peaceful, very positive, very intelligent. And we live on a planet that has millions of them, guys. There are millions of them in the ocean. And guess what? The day is going to come very, very soon when the civilization becomes positive and we're going to meet them and interact with them. They do have technology, they do have a society, and they do like communicate with each other for the most part. So there are different like hydroid peoples throughout the planet because Pacific Ocean is huge, Atlantic Ocean is huge. The other oceans are too. All right, this one here. These are thermoids. Thermoids are mostly like red and orange skin tone, and yeah, they're just like human shaped. No hair. Some of them do have hair though. Hair, eyebrow hair, hair on their head, but these don't. They have very, very thick skin. very thick skinned, and thermoids can survive thermal temperatures. Their planet where they develop on, that it has a lot of volcanic activity. It is very, very hot. It's not so hot that it kills life off, but they can survive in these hot temperatures. Thermoids can survive in far hotter temperatures than we can. We would literally like die within a few minutes if you're probably like walking around on their planet with no suit. So they do have technology, they do have cities, and they do come here. And guess what? Probably the ones that have come here because they are red or orange skin tone, people have misidentified them for devils. Thermoids are not devils. They are other human beings, very, very beautiful and diverse. And they go everywhere. They travel everywhere. Which thermoids are kind of rare, though. They're kind of one of the rarest classifications. Then you have like the second most popular classification, reptiloid. This is a reptiloid, so I'm going to describe what it looks like. This reptiloid is a female, and it has kind of like scales and a reptile-like face, but human features, human shapes to it. Reptiloids do have tails too. Some of them do not, but most of them do have tails. And I'm gonna put up another one. I'm gonna put that last one up that I couldn't get on there. No, I got one more, I think. Yeah, I got one more that I need to put up there. Let me see. Go ahead and take the thermoid off of there. So this one, this reptiloid has a green skin tone, but they come in yellow skin tones, black, brown, all different types of skin tones, just like we do. But they have reptilian features. And just to sort of answer questions before anybody ask it, no, reptilians are not in control of the government on Earth. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how ridiculous that theory is. And I know a lot of people are gonna get sore for that, and uh, they're gonna feel offended, especially if David Icke listens to this. My goodness, what a ridiculous theory! Saying that the elites are disguised as humans, but they're reptiloids, and unbelievable. Yeah, that is not going on. I could promise you that. So this is the other one, reptiloids. If you're watching on Patreon, yeah, that some reptiloid women look like that. Very beautiful human-like features, and hair and blue eyes. They have different color eyes: yellow, orange eyes, black eyes, brown eyes, and they are human. So now you have this one is the last one is called sauroid. So there are different variations of sauroids. This is like the most accurate I could find. It's like a dinosaur human. So you would imagine taller. It'd be like 7 to 8 feet tall. Physically fit, probably wearing a spacesuit, and would have dinosaur-like features. A tail. It is different from a reptiloid. It is a different classification from an amphiboid also. So it's not the same thing. Trust me, it's not. It's a whole different classification on its own. Also, another thing, all of these classifications, even the human classification, all 18 of them, guys, there are sub classifications as well. So you have to account for different shapes, different heights, different skin tones, all of it. So, but everything fits within 18 classifications of human beings. So there's so much diversity out there. So yeah, like the thing that all these classifications have in common is the fact that they have an Amadon spirit form. They possess creational energetic being, all of them. It doesn't matter if you're a fluoroid or a phonoid or an aeroid or acroid or a sauroid or any of these. You possess a consciousness, you possess a creational consciousness, a spirit form, and they go through reincarnation, the same thing that we do. they reincarnate on their planets or wherever planet they end up at, and they live millions and millions of lifetimes, and they learn. And it is also possible to, you know, so it is also possible to incarnate on a civilization that's reptiloid and incarnate as a reptiloid, because we our spirit forms are all the same. So, like I said, I think that I have incarnated on most of them. I'm not going to go ahead and say all of them, but I remember, some past life dreams about it. Most of my incarnation has been with the human classification, though. But yeah, I really enjoy that experience. If I haven't, maybe one day I'll just find positive civilizations out there of the different classifications, and I'll incarnate with them. I don't have a problem with that at all. Um, you know, we have to get over that. I have like no prejudice of these other different peoples whatsoever. I mean, they're the same as us. There's nothing different about them. Well, because they look a little different. It may be kind of bracing if you run into like an 8 foot tall reptiloid, and they kind of look mean. They do, but it doesn't mean that they are mean. They could be positive. So you can't judge a book by its cover. And Earth humans have to get over this vanity phase, because you know what? You're not the only ones out there, and you're not the most beautiful. I can tell you that right now. Play into marrying women and men, they're probably a whole lot more attractive than Earth humans are, but they don't care about that either. Funny how that works, huh? They don't care about their what they look like. Most of the women don't even wear makeup. They like the natural look. They most definitely don't do plastic surgery. I can tell you that right now. They will never get any sort of collagen in their lips, Botox, anything. They don't need it anyway because they have advanced knowledge of the medical sciences and genetics. If they want to do some sort of alteration on themselves, they can, and it's easy. So, Earth humans are going about it the wrong way, doing it with, cosmetic surgery and all that. That's not the way that it works, guys. Earth humanity has to get over this phase because this is one of the most ridiculous characteristics that the civilization has. It has no reason to be vain or arrogant or alpha male or alpha female personalities whatsoever. You know why? Because they haven't accomplished anything. These people have accomplished it, and they look different. So what? They've accomplished space flight. They've accomplished figuring out how to power the electron. They've studied black holes. They've studied portals and stuff like that. They use all types of technology, and they're very accomplished scientists. Some people are negative, and they have come to Earth, and they've had a very bad influence on us. Some of them have pretended to be like demons and angels and gods and all that, guys. But all this religious nonsense, it always stems back to other human beings and people that have they've either purposely done this or accidentally. So, and here we are now, thousands of years later, in a so-called modern age, and people cannot open their minds to a possibility that there is no such thing as any creator, deity or God. It's just ridiculous. You have to think logically. It's always been other human beings, but whatever. So I'm gonna put another picture up. This is bizarre. This right here. Let me see. All right. So what this is, I'm gonna have to grab this. This was I don't know who posted it because first I saw it on Reddit and it said someone posted this. They took a picture of Donald Trump talking to three aliens, and I heard a lot of jokes about it. Some people said they look like the Volturi vampires from Twilight, and some people said they look like the vampires from Blade, but they're like pale, like well over like 6'5". One of them looks like he's more like 6'8", long white hair, and they're wearing some kind of like red, I don't know, some kind of top, red top or whatever. Apparently, this picture is circulating around social media that Donald Trump is meeting with aliens. Yeah, out in the public like that, right? right, right by, right by the White Oh my, come on! This is most definitely a joke. I don't. There's nothing real about this. It just can't be. It's too bizarre. I have heard stories about people that look like this though, so I think that someone on the inside knows, and they're trying to stir things up, guys. Exactly what all this nonsense, UFO files and videos, it's just stirring the people up, and distracting you from the Epstein files. That's what it's doing. So, yeah, that photo is going to continue to circle its way around social media for at least another week, and there you go. Donald Trump is meeting with the Volturi from Twilight. There you go. All right, I'm gonna put something else up. This is interesting. Now, the audio, I know it's bad, but yeah, hopefully you'll be able to hear it. So,
settlement based on one man, one vote. But, he says, there are conditions. These include stopping the execution of all captured prisoners of war, allowing European stakeholders negotiations, being arrested. In Australia, Mr. Kerry Packer's cricketers are still pleading yesterday's High Court decision, which didn't plan on them playing in Test matches.
This is the voice of Allah, representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, speaking to you. For many years you have seen us as lights in the skies. We speak to you now to say the same as we have done to your brothers and sisters all over this, your planet Earth. We come to warn you of the destiny of your race and your world, so that you may communicate to your fellow beings the course you must take to avoid the disaster which threatens your world and the beings on other worlds around you. This is in order that you may share in great awakening as the planet passes into the new age of Aquarius. The new age will be a time of great peace and evolution for your race, but only your rulers are made aware of the forces that can overshadow their judgments. Be still now, and wish, for your chance may not come again. All your weapons of evil must be removed. The time for conflict is now past, and the race of which you are a part may proceed to the higher stages of its evolution if you show yourselves worthy to do this. You have but a short time to learn to live together in peace and goodwill. Small groups all over the planet are learning this, and exist to pass on the light of the dawning new age to you all. You are free to accept the protection teachings of those who learn to live
Many go as wide as this. Then they run out.
Here now, the voice of Grimon, representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, speaking to you. Be aware also that there are many false prophets and guides at present operating on your world. They will suck your energy from you, the energy you call money, and will put it to evil ends, giving you worthless dross in return. But your divine self will protect you from this. You must learn to be sensitive to the voice within that can tell you what is true and what is learn to listen to the voice of truth which is within you.
Such as
Lead yourself. This is our message.
I really appreciate understand that we can't I insist so delicious, full of only really choice ingredients. I can
Cats have 9 lives.
Well, that's
Have no fear. Seek only to know yourself and this power with the weight of your planet Earth. Bring up the Ashtar Galactic Command faith to an anthem. We are now leaving the planes of your existence. May you be blessed by the supreme love of untrue happiness.
All right, everyone. Yeah, that audio is pretty horrible, but to explain what that was for those of you that may be listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, the man named Brillon, 1977, did a broadcast from space in British Broadcasting Network, and was pretty much introducing himself to Earth humanity. So there have been people throughout time that have done that. It's happened in the 70s, happened in the 80s, happened in the 90s too. But you don't end up hearing about that, do you? The thing about Vrillon and the Ashtar Galactic Command, even though he was talking about peace and the age of Aquarius, he knew all that stuff because he's Playaran. So Vrillon and Ashtar Sharan, which is the one that the leader of the Ashtar Galactic Command, they were part of the Bafath. They were negative guys. It doesn't sound like that from the message that he puts, but they are. The other Playaran, they're all positive. Every single one of them are positive. There was a small group of people from the Playaran thousands of years ago. Really, the whole Lyran lineage. They're from the Lyran lineage too, and the whole Lyran lineage has been having so much trouble for millions of years. They just can't figure stuff out. But 53,000 years ago, the Playaran peoples, Pataz people, and Semyaze, Quetzal, they became positive and they formed a Federation of Light. So the Bafath, they decided to be negative and they left. They still had their ships, their technology. They could travel back and forth to the Ankar universe where they're originally from. And for what I know, excuse me, they've let them travel into the Dal universe too. I don't know why. I don't know why they let them do that barrier, because in order to get to the Dal universe, you have to get through this barrier where it transports you in sections. I think they were letting the Bafath go out there because they had a fight with them to kind of end the Bafath. The Bafath is no longer around. Astar Sharan is no longer around. Vrillon is no longer around, as far as I know. And they are negative, so they had to deport them off of Earth. So I've been hearing. I heard something. I was watching like another podcast or whatever. People were talking about the pyramids, and apparently Ryan Dunn or whatever his name is. He's got that theory about the pyramids are power plants and all that, and there's like a spiral that goes down 2 kilometers. Well, what there was down there, and the Ptah and Quetzal has filled this in, it was the Bafath's outpost. It was one of the outposts underneath the Giza Plateau. That's what that was. It's filled in. They haven't taken everything out yet, but it's filled in with rock and sand. So the Bafath set up homes. They said they had large ships down there. They had their small crafts down there, and guess what? Jehovah, the man who pretended to be the creator God, that's where he was posted up at. That was one of their outposts. They had outposts in Orion, and other, galaxies and stuff like this, and they were doing all sorts of negative things. They were subjecting Earth humanity. So Vrillon was responsible for religious delusion. So was Ashtar Sharan, which was Kamagol II's cousin. So Kamagol II was the last man on Earth, Playaran, to pretend to be this creator god, and he ended up dying a natural age of like over 4,000 years in the year 1976. So he is no longer around. Jehovah is not alive anymore, guys. He's not alive. These are just human beings, and I have no idea why they did that announcement. I guess to further thwart people into religious delusion. Even though they had, like nice little cute message, but they know about the age of Aquarius, they know about reincarnation, they know about all that because they're spiritually old, and they're very powerful, and they like to do stuff like that. The play on called them twerps. There are some that are still around though, but they're not. They're on a prison planet. They're not doing anything anymore. So they had to deport them from Earth. They filled in their outposts underneath the Giza Plateau, which they were the ones that told the Jewish gypsy people, you're my people, and told them to sacrifice their children, their firstborn. And guess what? They did it. They fell right for it. And they're up to a whole lot of negative intrigues, and they think that they're like some sort of chosen people. They're not. They're not chosen for anything. They were chosen by a negative individual, and they got duped, and they're still being duped to this day because they can't realize that it was just another human being. The day's gonna come when they're gonna figure it out. But yeah, that's that whole Vrillon message. It's kind of easy to find now. For years, I couldn't find that thing. I couldn't find that video or whatever. I saw that years and years ago. But yeah, they were just human. They're same like the other play are. Beards, tall, lighter skin tone and all that, and they're up to just negative intrigues, just being pests, being twerps. That's what they call them. They call them twerps. They call them Bafath twerps, even though I don't think that they are. The Bafath were most definitely negative. We're still like dealing with all this religious delusional nonsense, the sacrificing. Kamala II and some others sent rituals to Aleister Crowley and others. Also, Ignatius Loyola received, all those rituals and stuff that he did in forming the Society of Jesus. They had an influence on the Order of the Dragon. They've had an influence on the Catholic Church and all of it. They've literally been doing this for thousands of years. I don't know why the player left them on Earth and decided not to deport them until 1988 or whatever it was. I have no idea, but I don't agree with that either. I think that was very lazy of them. If your people go out there and they starting religious delusions, you need to put a stop to that. You need to end them. And look now, they're literally like trying to pick up the pieces on Earth. They also subjected other civilizations, guys. Earth was not the only one they put into a religious delusion. So, look at now. We have to live on a planet where people are hateful, racist, constantly fighting each other. That's all it is, just a battle of religions because Christianity thinks that they're always right. People that believe in Catholicism believe they're right. People who believe in Judaism think that they're right and they hate everybody else. People who believe in the Muslim faith and Islam think that they're right. It's all just going around and around. And there's another very very disgusting religion that is coming back up that is very prominent, Hindutva. I have to do a whole episode on that. I was actually thinking about doing an episode on that. That is unbelievable. I think I did record. I saved a couple of videos for that. What they're doing with Hindutva over there in India, it's just like a very fascist belief. It's almost like Zionism. It's pretty much the same thing. I'm gonna have to look into the details on that, and guys, because that's very very dangerous. Usually, anyone in India, they're not that bad as anyone else around the world. You don't really hear too much about going on in India, and all the Indian people that I've met, they've been pretty like decent people. Other than being like hackers and scammers and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. So I think it is a new age and religious delusion. Ptah and Quetzal, they don't really care about that. But if they end up listening to this, they got to do something about this because this stuff has to end. They waited so long to stop Vrillon and Ashtar Sharan and Kamago II and all of them, and then look at where we're at now. We literally have a world that is disintegrating around us, and it's just getting worse and worse. You have mega churches popping up all over the place. Um, Negative energies being created. war, all this nonsense going on. It's just unbelievable, and it has so much to do with other human beings. Guys, not everyone is negative, but there have been a whole lot of negative people that have come here. People have to open up their eyes to the possibility that not everyone out there is positive and they don't have the best intentions. But you know what? Not everyone is negative and they're trying to like body snatch you either. I mean, come on, just be neutral about it, and judge people for their intentions and for what's in their heart, and don't judge them for what they look like, because guess what? The day is going to come where billions and billions of people are going to end up, when Earth humanity leaves in 1100 years. Well, guess what? Like 6 billion spirit forms that get left behind on Earth, guys. Not everyone is leaving Earth. This is the thing. Billy Meyer and Figo Organization does not talk about that. I do. Not everyone is leaving Earth. I'm not leaving Earth either, not in the physical. So, unless I do incarnate and I figure out a way to get everyone off of Earth, which I already have a legitimate plan for that, which I think it should be done now. Now, when the population is at 10 billion, this is when someone should act, or they should, ask me to do something. I will literally do something. If Quetzal or Ptah or anyone else asks me to do something, I will literally solve the Earth issue as quickly as possible. And right now is the best time to do it, before the age of Aquarius. And for Earth humanity to benefit from this, because we're not going to benefit from anything if you're at world war. If the negative individuals are still ruling this planet, I don't know how they don't get it through their thick skulls. But yeah, I know that if anyone from the Figo organization will watch this, they probably get like call me misguided and I'm a fool and all that. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But why? Because I think, as an individual, because I have my own thoughts. So what? So I don't see them as different. I'm not a zealot. I'm not a Nocadamian zealot, and I'm not a Pleiadian zealot or Andromedan zealot. I think for myself. I have my own thoughts, but I am right, and probably not going to be able to prove it in this lifetime. But whatever. But yeah, if they decide to do something now is the best time to do it. Not wait for the future. But yeah, who knows? Something is definitely coming. Um, I'm not sure what it is. It could be. It feels like it's positive, but it could be horribly negative. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie and say I know this, or I'm having visions of the future. I do have visions of the future, but I don't know every little detail. I actually had a vision about the fires in California. This was very powerful. Very, very powerful future vision. So that's going to happen soon. I think it has something to do with like an earthquake or whatever. And there has been massive earthquakes, like the earthquake in over in the Philippines, like that 8 point whatever magnitude, 8.7 magnitude. That's unbelievable. But yeah, guys, this whole alien, other human being, UFO topic, yeah, it's definitely real, and it's normal to me. So hopefully, this episode was really informative, and you guys learned some stuff. If you're listening to your car or while you're working on Apple Podcasts, as soon as you get a chance, refer to the Patreon video. I'm going to go ahead and end the episode now. I'm not sure if I'll do an episode tomorrow. I was supposed to have a guest on tonight. Got stiffed again with another guest, but that's fine. Whatever. I'll just do my own thing. He was supposed to come on and talk about a book or whatever, but I'm good. I'm good. I've got my own stuff to talk about. So if you guys want to get in contact with me, you can email me at Vincent, Vincent, at weareallnotfromearth.com. Like I said, I'm going to post these pictures up on Reddit as soon as I get a chance. I'm going to post them up on my website, weareallnotfromearth.com. And if you guys are podcasters and you want to promote your podcast, you can go to my Reddit community, discover my podcast. You can post whatever you want, self-promote on there. It's all day long. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If I don't do an episode tomorrow, then Guess I'll see you guys on the next episode, or I'll see you in the next lifetime. Good night.